Hello, my loves. I'm Eddie Frost. Thank you so much for being here, where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about why the narcissist wants you to feel guilty in the relationship. They also want you to feel ashamed. They also want you to feel jealous. They also want you to feel scared, like nothing stable and balanced and in love. It's the opposite of that in a narcissistic relationship. It's to keep you walking on eggshells, going into the trauma, being trauma bonded, but also going into responses like trying really, really hard to fix this relationship, trying really hard to explain yourself. To completely abandon yourself is basically the goal of the guilt, the shame, the fog, the fear, everything that they are doing in order to create a response in you. One of the things I teach my clients and anyone I talk to is about pause, the power of pause, because when we've been trained and groomed by narcissists, we'll often just go into a people-pleasing response, We'll just try and want to appease the situation, especially if someone's being difficult or we're feeling on edge. If you can just pause, go to the bathroom, take a break, think before you speak, or say things like, let me think about that, let me get back to you, I'm not sure how I feel about that yet, I need some time to think. It will stop us going into automatic responses if we can create a pause. And if your response is to fight back, again, that's just a trauma response to what they do. But they want you to feel guilty. They want to trigger you in reactive abuse so that you do stuff that takes you so far out of who you are. You feel ashamed and you feel guilty, and then you want to make it up the whole time. What they won't do is take accountability for their side of the ship, right? Their side of the road, their terrible behavior that they'll never take accountability for. It's all about how they can blame you. They're actually, and this is their trick. You see, they are actually just controlling you, manipulating you with these tactics in order to mold you into what they need you to be, right? And they make you feel guilty for being yourself, having any boundaries. They'll punish you if you try and set a boundary, often with silent treatment or some kind of abuse. The narcissist always keeps score. They don't forget anything. They're not even rational and reasonable at all in the blame they'll put on you for everything. I remember when I was with my ex, now I know what he was doing, but I didn't understand it at the time. We just got together, we were in that love bomb stage, and then he sent me a picture of him and his ex-partner all cuddled up. And it just seemed such a strange thing to do. I was devastated, but now I understand why he did that. It was all about creating jealousy and negative emotion in me, and triangulation, It was all designed to make me feel on edge, but at the time I thought he said it all. He didn't really mean to send it. I mean, he lied about it. He did mean to send it. It would cultivate jealousy. It would make me try harder. It would make me feel not good enough for him. They cultivate negative emotions. They're not projecting their emotions on us because they don't have any. They're like an empty vessel, a void. What they're doing is cultivating jealousy, self-consciousness, lack of self-worth. They are slowly eroding your self-esteem lower and lower and lower, and your connection to who you are. Because the more they can get you disconnected from your truth and your authenticity, the more they can manipulate and shape you into what they need you to be, which is a source of resources to them, including life force energy. So they want you to feel the negative emotions. And when a narcissist triggers, one of the hardest things for people is reactive abuse. When a narcissist has pushed someone to such a level, they've fought back either physically, verbally, whatever. And that can be really devastating for people because we've gone so far, we're kind of scared to trust ourselves. And the narcissist is constantly making us not trust ourselves, our senses, what we're feeling, constantly gaslighting us to try and make us not trust ourselves. So when they get you to a point where you react and you're so out of character, that is very stressful for people, and they know what they're doing. So please, please, please forgive yourself for anything you might have done under circumstances of psychological warfare that we weren't trained to put up with, People that go and fight in the military are trained in warfare and psychological warfare. When we go into a narcissistic abusive relationship, we're not trained to be able to cope with this. And they know they're pushing your buttons. A narcissist literally knows how to trigger you. They're constantly working in the psychic realm. They know what your worst fears are. They know how to really keep you on edge, right? Someone wrote in the comments about that constant sense of dread you have. And the reason is because in a narcissistic cycle, they'll build you up and crash you down. Abuse wouldn't work if it was just abuse all the time, right? So they build you up in love bombing and hoovering stages, and then they crash you down. And what that does is create a nervous system reaction where we're always on a roller coaster. We're never steady, we're never stable, we're never at peace. And that is, again, great for a narcissist wanting someone in a trauma bond, but terrible for our regulation, because we need to feel steady and safe to manifest and to create the things we want in our lives. And that feeling of impending doom all the time is from being traumatized. If you want to heal for real, come into Sovereign. I'd love to see you there. Please keep liking, subscribing and sharing. Lots of love, guys. I'll speak to you soon.